The morning Sophia inherited her grandmother's 30 million pesos, I was making coffee in our small kitchen. We had been married for 7 years, living in a modest apartment in La Condesa, sharing dreams and debts in equal measure. "Mateo, we need to talk," she said with a voice I didn't recognize. I turned around holding 2 steaming mugs. Sophia stood in the doorway, dressed in a suit I had never seen before. Expensive? No. In her hands, a manila envelope. "Divorce papers," she announced, dropping them on the table. "Everything is already arranged. I just need your signature." The coffee grew cold as I read. Division of assets. Nothing for me. Custody. Didn't apply, we had no children. Alimony. She renounced any obligation. "Why?" was the only thing I could ask. Sophia shrugged with a coldness that froze the room. "Because now I can afford a better life, Mateo. Without ties." "Without?" She looked me up and down. "Mediocrity." I signed in silence. Every letter of my name felt like a farewell. "I know you, Mateo," she said as she gathered the papers. "In a few weeks you'll be begging me to come back. You've always been predictable." That same afternoon, I packed whatever I cared about into 2 suitcases. Left the keys on the dining table next to our wedding photo. I didn't write a note. Didn't make calls. I just disappeared. The next Saturday, I later learned, Sophia threw a party in the new penthouse she'd bought in Polanco. French champagne, caviar canapes, friends I never knew we had. "And Mateo?" someone asked. "He's history," she replied, raising her glass. A closed chapter. But every time the doorbell rang, Sophia flinched. Every notification on her phone she checked with barely disguised anxiety. She was waiting. She was certain I would show up, maybe drunk, maybe crying, begging for a second chance. I didn't. A week later I changed my phone number. Deleted my social media. Told my brother Diego not to reveal my whereabouts if Sophia asked. And she did ask. She called 14 times that first month. "Tell her you don't know where I am," I instructed Diego. And it's true. I don't even know who I am now. I moved to Oaxaca with my 2 suitcases and a determination I had never felt before. I rented a small room near the Zocalo and found work at a carpentry shop. Don Ernesto, the owner, was a master craftsman who saw potential where others saw desperation. "You've got good hands, kid," he told me the first day. "But hands are useless if the heart is broken." "Then teach me to fix both," I replied. I worked 12 hours a day. Learned to read wood, to understand its grain, to turn a rough piece of oak into something beautiful. Don Ernesto taught me techniques his grandfather had passed down, secrets of nail-less joints and finishes that looked impossible. At night I sketched designs. Tables, chairs, bookshelves. Each piece was therapy, a way to rebuild myself plank by plank. After a year, Don Ernesto asked me to be his partner. "I don't have money to invest," I confessed. "You've got something better, talent and hunger to succeed. Money's secondary." We started selling at local markets. Our pieces caught the attention of tourists and eventually art galleries. A table I designed, based on Zapotec patterns, was bought by a boutique hotel in San Miguel de Allende. Then more orders came. By year 3, Maderas Mateo was a recognized name in contemporary Mexican design. My pieces appeared in specialized magazines. An interior designer from Monterrey placed an order worth 500,000 pesos. Then a hotel chain from the Riviera Maya. Then a Texan businessman who wanted to furnish his ranch. I hired 6 artisans. Bought a larger workshop. Don Ernesto cried with pride every time a new order came in. "Your ex-wife was a fool, Mateo," he'd say. "She traded gold for glitter." But I no longer thought of Sophia. Well, almost never. I had met Lucia, a ceramic artist who worked next door. We fell in love slowly like people who already know pain do, without rush, with care, with truth. "I don't need to know your past," she told me one night as we ate tlayudas in her small studio. "I just want to be part of your future." And she was. We married in a small ceremony in the garden of the house I built with my own hands, a house of wood, light, and new promises. While I built a new life, Sophia destroyed her inheritance with the efficiency of someone who never learned the value of earned money. Bad investments. Friends who were really leeches. A boyfriend who stole 2 million and vanished. Endless parties that left nothing but emptiness and hangovers. In 4.5 years, the 30 million shrank to 4. One afternoon, while scrolling through old photos on her phone, she found one from our wedding. My smile. Her eyes full of genuine love. And for the first time in years, she cried. She tried calling me. The number was out of service. Checked social media. No trace. Asked mutual acquaintances. No one knew anything or no one wanted to tell her. Desperate, she hired a private investigator. "I want to find my ex-husband Mateo Reyes," she said. "He disappeared 5 years ago." The investigator, an older man with the face of someone who had seen too much, raised an eyebrow. "Did he disappear, or did you lose him?" "Just find him," Sophia replied, ignoring the question. 2 months later, the investigator handed her a folder. "Your ex-husband is alive and thriving," he said with an ironic smile. "Very thriving, actually." Sophia opened the folder. Photos. Many photos. Me in the workshop, focused on a piece of walnut. Me at the opening of an exhibition in Mexico City. Me with Lucia, smiling in a way Sophia remembered once inspiring. Me at my new home, surrounded by trees and peace. "How?" she whispered. "Luxury carpentry," the investigator explained. "His company is worth around 15 million pesos and growing. He's won 3 national design awards. He's booked solid until 2027. But what hit Sophia hardest was the last page of the report. Call history from subject's former number, 347 missed calls. 83% from the client's number. Period, first year after separation. Note, subject changed number and address leaving no forwarding contact. 347 times she had called that first year. The first 10 with arrogance, expecting me to beg. The next 100 with curiosity. The last 237 with something close to panic, realizing she had truly lost me. "Would you like me to arrange a meeting?" the investigator asked. Sophia stared at the photos for a long time. My face tanned by Oaxaca's sun. My hands strong, marked by honest work. My eyes finally at peace. Lucia's hand intertwined with mine. "No," she said at last, closing the folder. "I don't want to ruin his happiness again." I got Diego's message on a Sunday afternoon while Lucia and I were planting tomatoes in our garden. "Mateo, your ex was looking for you. Hired an investigator and everything. She knows where you are now. Thought you should know." Lucia read the message over my shoulder. "Does it worry you?" she asked. I looked around, our home, our workshop, our dogs running among the trees. I touched Lucia's barely rounded belly, where our first child was growing. "No," I said honestly. "That life belongs to another version of me. I'm home now." Sophia never contacted me. I later learned she sold the penthouse, paid her debts, and got a modest job at an art gallery. Sometimes she bought pieces from Maderas Mateo for the gallery, though she never asked for a discount nor mentioned our past. Years later, I found a review she wrote about my work. Mateo Reyes's pieces speak of transformation, of how something that seems broken can become art if given time, care, and the right hands. His creations don't just change spaces. They remind us that reinvention is always possible, even when we believe we've lost everything. I kept that review in a drawer. Not out of nostalgia, but as a reminder that sometimes losing everything is the only way to truly find yourself. And as the sun set over Oaxaca, with Lucia asleep in my arms and the future growing inside her, I understood that the silence with which I signed those papers 5 years ago hadn't been surrender. It had been freedom.